Alright everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're all having a good Saturday. I'm having a quiet one. Got shit to do tomorrow, so need to keep myself tip top, know what I mean? So I thought I would come on and discuss a case that it was quite notorious, quite unusual when it first kind of hit the papers. It was a guy who was in the same hall as me in Shorts. It was the National Induction Centre. As I explained before, it's like if you get sentenced to life, 25 year, 20 year, 15, 16, 10, whatever, you go, normally you'll go to this hall in Shorts, and basically it's to kind of break you into your sentence. Like, you don't need to go to work, but obviously you're expected to go to the gym, go to this, go to that, like, you know what I mean? As I says, it's to ease you into how long you're going to be doing, right? So this guy, Alan Menzies, was referred to in the newspapers as the vampire killer. Now I'll get into that in a minute, but he was sentenced to life with a recommendation that he serve at least 18 years before he can apply for parole. Now this case happened, say, like just over a year before mine, so it was like he killed his best pal, right? Now, Menzies was obsessed with vampire literature, in particular a film um, called Queen of the Damned, right? Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen that, but I've not seen it. I'm not big on vampire films. Like, I can watch some of them, but this one wasn't really a big hit. It starred an R&B singer who died in a plane crash. Aaliyah, beautiful lassie, man, stunning, is the main kind of character. So he was obsessed with this film, and I think once he had seen this film, he just became obsessed with it. Like, he would watch it every day and all that kind of stuff. Now, I do want to say that even though he was in the same hall as me and I would walk past him in the corridor or whatever occasionally, me and him have never had a conversation about his offending, his crime, whatever it is, right? So I just want to say that everything that I know about this guy is either it's either online, it's either word of mouth in the jail, or fucking it's no anything that I've been told for word of mouth. So no anything that it's came for the horse's mouth. So take that for what it is, know what I mean? But anyway, so Menzies, he was quite a aloof character, and what I mean by that was he didn't have a lot of pals. There was only two, like maybe two people in the entire hall that spoke to him, and I knew these two guys as well. So like they would tell me wee things he would say or do or whatever, right? So, but to be fair, at the time I never really found him that interesting. It's just because obviously I'm doing this channel talking about prison stuff or criminal justice stuff. So it's just kind of to get this up and running, just talking about things that other people might find interesting. So he was quite aloof, like he wouldn't kind of talk to anybody, he would stay in his cell all day. Like when the whole hall's opened up, he would be in his cell watching fucking films and shit. So I don't know what films he was watching, but I imagine it would have been fucking horrors or some shit, fucking vampire chronicles, I don't know. Um, so he had got into an argument with his best pal. I think this boy was like the only pal he had. Um, and he'd got into an argument with him. The boy had come round to Menzies' house, right? And he's like, "Why to watch this film?" And he's like, "What, watch this again?" All that kind of stuff. So I think he started kind of poking fun at Menzies for what I understand. Like, no in a malicious way. I think it was just like giving him a bit of a ribbon, like fucking hell, we watching this shit again, know what I mean? And I think he's actually took offence to that, right? He's took offence to the fact that he's denigrating this vampire film that he's obsessed with, and apparently Menzies attacked him with a knife, and I think he's kind of got him, but it was superficial. I don't know if it was superficial, but I don't think it was like life threatening at the start. And then the guys try to run through the house, but instead of running out the front door, he's ran up the stairs, right, and he's cornered them in a bedroom, I think, and he's just overwhelmed them with knife blows and hammer blows to the head, right. So the guys died in the house, and he's, I think, trying to clean up the scene. He's put the body in a wheelie bin and buried it in a shallow grave in the woods behind his house. So he was for a place called, was it Falthouse, West Lothian? It's like out in, it's kind of in between Glasgow and Edinburgh. It's out that way. It's just a small kind of town. And there was a lot of kind of green belt area backed up to where his house was. So he's took the body out there. I don't know if probably been under the cover of darkness. Buried him in a shallow grave. Dumped bloodstained clothing behind his house, which no too bright, you know what I mean? And he's buried the weapons somewhere else now. This was like, for what I read online, this was to get the dates right, this was like early December 2002, right? Now, the poor guy's ma was fucking out of her mind, knowing that her boy didn't run away, didn't just, do you know what I mean? She knew something was wrong, right? And she's obviously reported her son missing. Now, I think Menzies was about 22, 21 at this time. So, round about ages with myself. And the police have went to Menzies' house, right? And they're like, have you seen so and so and all that? When was the last time you seen them? As they do, right, when they're investigating shit like that. But I think the poor woman knew something was wrong. Motherly instinct, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, right, see when the police, the CID went to Menzies' door, like apparently it was believable, like plausible, and that kind of tells you a lot about his interpersonal style. Because if you've done something of that magnitude, right, you would just be fucking, I imagine you would be out of your box with anxiety, worry, shit, am I gonna get found out, like just getting into meltdown. But he seemed to never crack a light, which is pretty spine chilling if you ask me. So the police Menzies was like, we came round to watch a video, and we started arguing and he left, and I've not seen him since. And I think that at first they kind of thought, oh well, there must be something else up, but apparently Menzies was in a supermarket and seen his victim's mum, right? And he was in there buying fucking, like, see things that would probably raise eyebrows, like fucking spades, disinfectant, all that shit. You're pure looking like, what the fuck are you doing? So he's walked up to the boy's ma, right? This poor woman was just going out of her mind with grief and worry, because she had, like, Christmas had passed and all that. They didn't find the body after the New Year, so he went missing, say, 2-3 weeks before Christmas. They didn't find him after New Year. You imagine the fucking grief and worry of that poor woman, know what I mean? And he's walked up to her in the middle of a fucking supermarket when he was in buying fucking, no Clorox, but what do you call, like Domestos, fucking industrial strength bleach or some shit, and he's walked up to her and says, alright missus, hang with, do you know what would be good for getting rid of bloodstains? Like, that's spine tingling, man. That's just sick, know what I mean? And he's the only person on the face of this fucking earth who knew where that poor guy was, know what I mean? And I don't know if he was just that brazen, or was he getting some sort of fucking kick out of studying this woman's face, the grief in her. I don't know, just these are the kind of people that walk amongst us sometimes, know what I mean? And she was like, I think alarm bells started going off in her head, like, she's the last guy seen with my son. The two of them were the same age, so it wasn't like he was a guy and this was a wee boy or anything. Obviously they're the same age, they were pals, they were hanging about together, know what I mean? So I think alarm bells have started going off in the poor woman's head, know what I mean? And she's left the shop and she's got in touch with the CID murder squad, whatever it was. So they've went back to Menzies' house, right, and they've took him in for questioning, which obviously it must have been, the jigsaw must have been coming together by this time, know what I mean, if it wasn't already. So when they've took him in for questioning, they've searched the house, searched the surrounding property, whatever, and I think they've found blood-stained clothing. I'm not sure if they found the weapons, but this he's been pure cool as a fucking cucumber, right? And I think he got released after questioning. Then the next thing you know, they found the body and he's fucking took an OD with, don't know, say it was paracetamol, fucking, I don't know, he took some sort of drugs, right? Try to kill himself. But even though he was in the hospital, like, he wasn't getting anything up. He wasn't going, right, that's it, man, I fucking copped it or nothing. Like, he's just and but eventually when the police found the body, right, when they found it, he's come out of this suicide attempt. What ended up happening was obviously they've charged him, and when they've took him into custody, he just started making all sorts of fucking stupid comments, right, like hanging his cell. Well, that's a bit of an ironic way of putting it, and I'll get into that in a minute. But he was just saying things like, I done it because the character in this vampire film was telling me to do it. She came to me and she appeared in my mirror and told me I need to sacrifice somebody to become a vampire and I'll live forever, or this mad fucking psychotic shit, right? But the thing is, he wasn't mentally ill, he wasn't psychotic at all. Apparently he'd made a comment to the murder squad saying, I'll plead guilty if you put me in Carstairs. Now, anybody who has genuine Carstairs material after doing something like that, the last thing they would be talking about, thinking about, would be asking to go there, because the thing is, right, see, when you're going to a place like that, they're living in an alternative fucking universe. They don't know if it's New Year or New York. Like, they're no in touch with reality, and he was. There was 3 doctors that assessed him, 3 separate psychiatrists, because he was making claims that he'd basically drank this guy's blood, making claims of eating bits of his skull, his head, whatever, brain, I don't know, something like that. Now, obviously, somebody making they kind of claims, especially when you consider the fact that he was obsessed with this vampire shit, right? Obviously, they need to look into that. No stone. See, when it's a murder investigation, no stone is left unturned. You know what I mean? It's like they'll rip your whole life apart, man. They'll be searching things you would never even think they would be interested in searching. So he's been put into custody and all that, and then making all these crazy statements about immortality and fucking drinking blood and all this kind of shit. Now, when I was thinking about what to talk about, there was a few things that I was going to talk about, but that I just kind of thought I would talk about this today. And obviously, like, knowing him for prison, like a couple of times I'd walk by him in the corridor, but as I says, I never really put any kind of, like, I never really looked for, oh, they'll fucking hang me. And the funny thing is, right, you know, the Scottish newspapers were comparing him to Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, I don't know if that's fucking accurate, but that's the thing with newspapers, it's especially with crime, it's all sensationalise it and fucking to no, it's not to glorify, it's like the fucking the public spirit roused, know what I mean? So that it's like, and to be fair, like, what he done was fucking barbaric, know what I mean? There's no getting round it. But he's I don't know if I put any stock into the fact that he's saying he drank blood or he cannibalised a certain body part, because for what I understand, there was no discussion of this in court other than he'd made these comments. I don't remember any pathologists, and I could be wrong. He might have done it, and it might have come out in court, but I've not read the court records. I'm only going for the wee bit of knowledge that I know for shots and for what I've read online, and I've seen I think there's a couple of documentaries, or maybe a documentary about him on YouTube. You could watch that. But I just fucking it was, and the thing is, I know, right, as I said in a video about shots, how some guys would go in to the screws and say, go on, oh, put me in the halls, meaning B hall or C hall, because in the old shots, so the old A hall got turned into the NIC, right, and there was cameras in there, but in B hall and C hall, which were mainstream halls, you didn't have any of that. I don't know if D hall had cameras, but D hall was protection back then. So I don't know if they had cameras or no. I was never in there, so I can't tell, you know what I mean? But I don't imagine there would be if the other two halls, I don't see why they would get them. So there would be some people who would go in and say, got to know, put me in the halls. I actually know one guy, I heard them saying it. I actually heard them saying, got to know, send me all the halls, there's no cameras are there. I actually heard them saying that, but end of the day, man, know what I mean? If you've nothing to fear, it's like you've not done it and you've no stroked MD. But anyway, Menzies, I went to the NIC in July 2004, right? So I was only up there, say, just say 5 months before this happened, right? So he get told to pack his stuff. He was going to C hall or B hall, I can't remember what one it was, but it was one of them, right? And he was refusing to go, right? And the thing is, like, he would just never, he would never come out. Like, we'd come out, go to the gym, go to education, go to the cabbage. I never seen him going anywhere unless it was to, like, collect his dinner or something. Say we were coming down the stair and he's walking out of the pantry with his dinner. That was the only times I can ever remember seeing him. Don't remember him going up the field when it's scorching, anything like that. Maybe he's playing into it because his cell was always, a couple of times I'd walk by and say somebody'd walk out his cell, one of the two boys I know, the whole cell would just be in darkness, curtains shut and all that. So maybe he's trying to play into this fucking, this fucking Night Stalker fucking persona, I don't know. But when he got told he was going to the halls, he refused, so they put him in the digger. And fucking then next thing I know, this was just afore Christmas 2004. One of the boys who I know who used to sit with him sometimes come up to me and he's like, did you hear about Menzies? And I was like, no, what? I thought he was meaning he get carted to the seg, and I was like, no, what? And he says, he hung himself. I was like, what? He's like, aye man, fucking, I was like, fuck's sake, like, he would be going up for parole now, and I don't know, maybe just some people are, maybe he was just that depressed or fucking angry or whatever, but he hung himself in the digger, and there was a fatal accident inquiry and all, and they were kind of, I don't know if he'd made any kind of threats to hurt himself, but I think they was kind of saying, the general consensus was when the fatal accident inquiry was heard, it was like, well, we thought you were doing it and you thought we were doing it, and they thought everybody was doing it. See, like all that kind of buck passing, which is kind of in jail, that's kind of normal, but I'm not got, like, because some of the staff members who were giving evidence in that fatal accident inquiry, I know them personally, and I would say that if they knew he was going to do that, not a fucking chance, not a snowball's hope in hell would they just allow that. They wouldn't have, not a chance. So, is what it is, know what I mean? But one of the things that stuck with me was when I was kind of looking at the the fatal accident inquiry report and some of the old tabloid stuff was, there was a photo, right? See the guy you killed. Excuse me. Oh. See the guy you killed. There was a photo of his mum and sister coming out of court, and the grief, the anguish and the pain on this poor woman's face just put a fucking heavy lump in my throat, man. Like, I just felt like I wanted to reach out and give her a hug, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, right, a lot of sometimes, I don't know if, like, I'm just speaking about myself, sometimes we take shit for granted, like life and loved ones or whatever, but to lose a loved one, like most days or always have lost somebody, right? But to lose somebody like that and having this scumbag walk up to you in a fucking supermarket asking you how do you get rid of bloodstains, I'm not gonna lie, right? Touch wood, anything like that ever happened to one of mine, and the last person seen with my loved one comes up to me in a shop and says, do you know how to get rid of blood? All the pieces would just fall into place for me, and that fucking shop would have been wrecked with his fucking heat. I'm not gonna sit and lie and make it. I'm fucking, as I'm getting back to myself, this rehabilitation. No, listen, man, you draw a fucking line, and I pray that day would I pray that never happens to me or any of yours. Do you know what I mean? But to see the pain in that woman's face, man, was just fucking gut wrenching, man. Like, my throat is even gone dry just thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? And to know that she went through that Christmas, like, no knowing where the fuck her son was or what happened to him. Like, he hadn't collected his money for his wages or his benefits, whatever it was. He hadn't even collected it. He'd left all his belongings. Like, so nobody who wants to disappear leaves all that. You would need the money to sustain yourself while you were figuring out your next move. So obviously, and I'm not knocking that poor woman, because some of us don't have experiences with these type of people or the darker side of life, so we don't know what the signs are unless it's fucking blatantly obvious that somebody's like pulling a weapon on you, try to hurt you, they're fucking frothing at the mouth, whatever. So it's so sad, man. Honestly, it was just, it was fucking horrible just seeing that look on her face, man. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't imagine going through that, and I hope the poor woman's at peace now. I don't know if she's still alive, but if she is, I hope she got some sort of peace out of the fact that he's never going to walk out of prison. He's on the other side, hopefully, with the fucking doing the bad fire, know what I mean? Just horrendous, mate, know what I mean? But that wasn't even that was just like a blip on the radar, that case. Like, when it happened, it was like, but don't get me wrong, if he hadn't hung his cell in jail, that would be one of the cases that, see, every time he's gone for parole, you would hear about him, and it would, like, no rejuvenate the case, but make people remember, because obviously people forget about a lot of shit like that, and they don't remember they weren't born. Know what I mean? So it's just, I hope that woman got some sort of comfort out of that. But and the funny thing is, right, he had done a previous sentence for getting, I think he was getting bullied a lot, right, and fucking, which anybody getting bullied's bad, right, man. I don't care who you are, you see somebody getting bullied, like, because I think most days I've got, even me, I've got shit that's happened to me as a wee boy, getting fucking battered off bigger boys, whatever, but you don't become, it's what Nietzsche said, he who fights monsters should see that he doesn't become a monster. Do you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, don't become what you're fighting against. So, like, if you hate bullies, don't become a fucking bully. You know what I mean? It's just, and you reap what you sow in life, know what I mean? And he had done 3 year sentence in Pullman. I didn't know him back then, but and I think he was getting bullied a lot because of how awkward he was, socially awkward, whatever. But apparently he's meant to have had a kind of, I think it came out in court, he had kind of sadistic tendencies and all this, know what I mean? So you don't know if maybe he's been fucking up to any good and people are just doing shit to him because of what he was doing to them, I don't know. But the world's a safer place without people like that, because he was making statements to the murder squad and that as well. For what I've read online was when he got sentenced, they said something like, you's gied me 18 years, but I've got his soul. That's how I don't think I could ever work. Like, how do you stop yourself punching somebody like that? I don't know. I think the longer you go without doing it, the easier it gets, but just that kind of cavalier attitude towards a human life, know what I mean? Like, but I wanted to come on and do that after the football. I've got other stuff I want to talk about, and I don't just want to be talking about people for prison and all. I want to be doing other stuff as well. But as I say, I've only been doing this a week or something, so it's just getting it kind of mobilised, just getting it up and running, half a running it, and then start doing different things. So hope that you found that interesting, and I will catch up with you next time I'm on. Good night.